Hi, hello, how are you? So this is just a very quick video, not very long, and it is just about a brief little sum up history of the witch's hat, or the wizard's hat, or the magician's hat. It's got a lot of names, but we all know it. We all know what it looks like. That is what makes it iconic. And iconic is not a word to be used lightly, despite what youth culture and particularly queer culture is doing with the word right now, which is like using it very frivolously. Iconic, in its true definition of the word, is something that is inherently recognizable across all culture, across all social classes, across all age groups. It's something that is universally recognizable. And the witch's hat is, by that definition, iconic. It is, of course, goofy to us now, and looks goofy as seen as something childish or fun, but has origins in something potentially that is very serious and very dark. And there is no one accepted origin for the iconography of the witch's hat. It has its place in a lot of different areas in history and culture. One of them is with a set of mummies that were found in China. These mummies are considered to be a few thousand years old, and for a lot of debatable reasons, the remains of these people have been labeled as witches. And again, that would be a whole other conversation for us to have, but it is generally accepted in academia that the remains of these individuals were what we would call witches. They were definitely people who were on the fringe of society and who practiced alternative medicine and who probably had taboo or different spiritual beliefs. So that very much classifies you as a witch, particularly in academia. Now, the remains of these mummies, you can Google them for yourself. They do have conical hats. Not like this, but they do have recognizable conical hats that were different from the other people in their culture and at their time. Their conical hats look very much more like the hats that you see on wizards. Particularly, one comes to mind is Harry Potter. Oh my god. The headmaster in Harry Potter. Oh my god, what? Why can't I remember his name? Oh my god! Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. That's so crazy. But, yes, he wears one that looks very similar to the hats that are found on these mummies. And, oh my god, why can't I remember his name? It's gonna drive me insane. It's gonna drive me insane. What? What? Hermione, Ron, Harry, McGonagall, Dumbledore! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, anyway. I can't believe I forgot that. So anywho, their hats do look similar to Dumbledore's. And good old Albus Dumbledore. Oh my god, I can't believe. Okay. But this type of hat, the one that we're really used to, is sported by a character like Professor McGonagall in the film. And sometimes the hats are completely pointy and straight, and sometimes they are bent or crooked, as you see here. And that's just aesthetic. But in terms of the biggest influence on popular culture and why we do associate witches with black robes and black pointy hats is because of the film that is also in its own right truly iconic. And that is the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. And in that film, our antagonist is played by the actress Margaret Hamilton, who, again, gave us an iconic performance as the Wicked Witch of the West. We all know the Wicked Witch of the West. Even if you've not seen The Wizard of Oz, but again, since the film is truly legendary and iconic, you most likely have, as have most people on the planet in first world countries. I mean, that movie is huge. 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 Think what you're picturing and multiply that times like infinity. The reach and scope of the Wizard of Oz film is massive. And so everything that we really have about witches trickles down from Margaret Hamilton's Wicked Witch of the West, who sports this hat. Now, you can ask yourself, where did the imagery for that come from? Because, L. Frank Baum, the author of The Wizard of Oz, must have had some kind of ideas before that got put to pen and paper for his book, which was published 39 years prior to the film, in the year 1900. And again, we can reference these mummies, but we can also reference two things that are a little dark, a little touchy. And that is that some people think that, and when I say people, I mean historians, occultists, not just regular old Joes. Like, these are people who have some, some stature, some recognition in the field of knowledge. They will sometimes reference that besides the mummies, that the more westernized version of a conical hat, as you see here, is attributed to anti-Semitic views. Now there was evidence that part of Christian attacks on Judaism and the Jewish people included making fun of their appearances, making fun of the way they dressed, but on a much sinister level, attributing the way they dressed to being influenced by Satan and demonic forces. That's nothing new from the Catholic Church and from the church, be it Protestant or what have you at large. That's not new. But there's a specific kind of hat, not the yarmulke, but there's a specific hat I think I wrote down called, the Juden hat, which itself might be a slur term. I apologize, because that would just mean Jew hat. And it was also worn by some Islamic people, but there was a pointed hat that was popular, I guess, with Jewish or with Germanic Jews in the medieval times. And there's pictures of it you can see. I mean, not photographs, obviously, but there are drawings of the hat, and it is a very pointy, straight pointed hat with a brim. So it is very close to what we know. And, excuse me, to try to get people to, convert to Catholicism, to amass followers, they demonized, the Catholic Church demonized people of all faiths, including Judaism. Even the Catholicism is birthed from Judaism. But, I digress. So, this could be a bastardization of that hat, which may make you think, why are we wearing it now then? And maybe we shouldn't. And maybe that is, promoting anti-Semitic views. That's up for you to decide on your own. And then another, little more recent in history, and would be more fitting with where L. Frank Baum would have gotten his view of a witch's hat, is the idea that this came from Quakers. And again, we have Protestant Christians and, of course, the almighty Catholic Church to blame. The idea is that they made fun of Quaker hats. Now, you can easily Google a Quaker hat. There's a lot of different renditions of a Quaker hat. you're familiar with a Quaker hat if you think of like pilgrim hats, or if you think of the hat of the guy on the Quaker Oats boxes and barrels that you can buy of oatmeal. Quakers are, that'd be a whole other video, but Quakers are actually really kind, benevolent people. But that's a whole nother conversation. But again, they are, attributed to, sorry, my cat. They are attributed with acts of Satanism just because their views of Jesus and God do not fall in with the Catholic Church. So this could be a bastardization of their hat as well, because sometimes you do see a belt with a buckle around the base of the hat. Again, we just really don't know where the iconic imagery of a witch's hat comes from completely, but those are some theories. And if you don't have one, why not? But yes. Now, in addition to the Wicked Witch, what really helped cement this imagery of the hat was a movie that came shortly after in 1942, which was also very much a big deal at the time. And that was a movie called I Married a Witch, and that starred an actress named Veronica Lake, who was very popular in the 40s. Very popular, and has like a sad, bittersweet story to her. But she wore this hat as well in the film. She plays a witch who falls in love with a human man after trying to take him down. And it's also on the poster. Also, Gandalf, of course. This is a hat that's not just seen with women, but with men. It's seen across all genders. And, yeah. I mean, that's essentially it. That's the witch's hat. And that's where it comes from. As you can see, it's not really cut and dry. If you wanted to do like a quick dive yourself on what the witch's hat is about, I do have a resource for you. 1 second, I've got to retrieve it. Okay, I retrieved it. So this is a magazine called The Truth Behind the Legends and Lore Witches Inside Their Mysterious World. This is a great magazine, an amazing resource, especially if you're a pop culture witch, or magician of any type, like myself. This is a wonderful resource to pick up. It is on newsstands right now. It has been on newsstands most of the year, and it was supposed to be removed from newsstands, I see here, in July, but I've still been seeing it on newsstands everywhere. So you can get this, it's like literally at like every grocery store that has magazines, every pharmacy. Like, it's very accessible, and of course bookstores. It's very easy to find, and you can order it online too. But it's a really, really good magazine, like really, really good. And anywho, in it, if I can find it for you, there is a wonderful description where they break down the look of a witch and where it comes from. They go into Wicca and this and all kinds of things, but it's a really wonderful book. So, here we have Demystifying the Look. Okay? Demystifying the Look. Where they break down every single piece and accessory about a witch and where it comes from and why. I'll read you their little excerpt about the hat. The most recognizable part of Halloween witch wear, the conical black hat, has disputed origins, as we just discussed. One theory is that it comes from the Subeshi witches, 3 female mummies from the 2nd century who had hair covered by black funnels. Those are the mummies I told you about at the beginning of the video. Another hypothesis, in the 1200s, the Catholic Church required Jews to wear a pointed cap, as many Jews were accused of black magic. Oh, see, that gives you a little bit more than what I told you about. But that goes into the Juden hat. A similar theory suggests that Puritans feared cap-wearing Quakers, as I also told you about. One more origin possibility, let's see, is that the hats were worn by alewives. Oh, yes. which are female beer brewers. They're ale wives. And of course, ale wives, that's a whole other video too. Beer brewers, like as a job, a lot of women used to do that for whatever reason. I think because it's tied to the home and tied to food. But a lot of women used to make ale and brew ale and have their own specific recipes for ale. And they would make medicinal ales, regular drinking ales, all kinds of ales. It very much was like a potion. And anyway, men saw the money in this industry that women were creating, and they wanted it. So they demonized women for it. But anywho, yes, for whatever reason, a kind of unofficial wardrobe of the trade did include wearing a hat, like a large hat, like a large brimmed hat. So, and you can go look that up for yourself too. But yes, alewives, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, it says, no matter the origin, they have been firmly associated with the witch since L. Frank Baum's Oz's books featuring hat-wearing witches in the year 1900. So yes, they were associated with witches all through history pretty much, but for differing reasons. But it was L. Frank Baum, definitively, the author of The Wizard of Oz, who really cemented that. And of course, more so, the Hollywood film, The Wizard of Oz. That cemented the look of a witch in perpetuity. That is the way we see witches now in popular culture. All black, pointed hat, broomstick, green skin sometimes, crone appearance. That is why. And anywho, I know that's very random, but I've just kind of been on a classical witch kick lately. Like in terms of the iconography. And I've been on an even bigger Wizard of Oz kick lately. And so I just wanted to talk about the witch's hat. Because it is so iconic. And because I think for a lot of us, it is an endearing piece of iconography to us. Some of us don't take offense to the hat. We love it and embrace it. And I know others do not like it, and they do not like the classical image of a witch. Let me know what you think down below. How do you feel about the witch's hat? Do you have a witch's hat? Do you embrace that imagery of a crone, haggard witch? Or do you really dislike it? Or are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know down below. And as always, you can check my links down below and follow me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. And you can book a reading with me on Facebook with runes or Ogham or tarot or oracle cards. And also, you can visit the link down below and follow the Nerdy Witch collection or the Nerdy Warlock collection, where you can shop merch like this one right here. Hey! And you can pick any color you want for the shirt and the fit. So, thank you so much, and goodbye.